Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the Black Moon Lilith in the 12th house in a natal chart. Well, anyway, first thing about the Black Moon Lilith in the 12th house, well, where the Black Moon Lilith is placed in one's natal chart can represent a very strong negative manifestation, and the dark side is connected with the house that it's in. In this case, this could bring about very nefarious hidden adversaries. This could be a person that may be addicted to very strong, uninhibited, erotic sex. In some cases, this placement can indicate some kind of drug addiction, chemical drug addiction, alcoholism in some cases. There might be a very strong fears, being alone. There might be, this person might be more afraid of things that are very malevolent, very sinister and criminal, more so than the average person. This could also be somebody that may have perhaps some kind of disruptions with their sleep, perhaps. Maybe in some cases this could be someone that might be in a community that might have a high crime rate. There may be this placement could be connected with having hidden adversaries that are very subversive, that are very negative, that are really just they could be criminals in some cases. Keep in mind too, where the Black Moon Lilith is placed in one's natal chart can represent that area in life that we really have that strong, connected with a strong fear, and puts us in a state of trepidation. Now, given that this is the 12th house, it could be perhaps confronting and facing one's fears and limitations, acknowledging them, and perhaps trying to do something about them. Perhaps desolation and isolation, and even things connected with self-sacrifice, trying to perhaps putting others' issues ahead of theirs and taking precedence over theirs. That could be a difficult thing for people that have this placement. Now, where the Black Moon Lilith is placed in one's natal chart can also be an area in life where one tries to extricate themselves from, but may have tremendous difficulty in doing so. And given that this is the 12th house, this could be a limiting or confining situation. It could be an addiction, perhaps a situation that may have an adverse effect on their mental health. It could be a situation where they feel some kind of imprisonment or confinement, whether it's literal or figurative. They might have this is also, keep in mind that the Black Moon Lilith, where it's placed in one's natal chart, now as far as the house goes, this could represent a person or people that can figure prominently in one's life scheme, and could also be adversarial. So one way or another, these people associated with the house can play a dominant role in their lives, for better or for worse. Now, given that we're talking about the 12th house, this could be people that work in illusion. It could be magicians, special effects people. Could be people in the metaphysical, such as astrology. It could be prominent people in some spiritual group or organization. This could even be people that are involved heavily in substance abuse. It could be drugs. It could be alcoholics. People that are perhaps less fortunate than others, such as the oppressed, the impoverished, the homeless. It could be those people as well. Could be people that figure prominently in this person's life, one way or another, can play a dominant role. And keep in mind the 12th house is the private life. I call it the private sector in one's natal chart. So it could even be somebody in one's private life might figure more prominently than usual, or could even be a hidden adversary, or not a hidden adversary, I should say. It could be it could be an adversary, a formidable adversary as well. Now, keep in mind this is the house of hidden adversaries, so these people might even be a little more destructive than usual, because you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith in the house of hidden adversaries. So anyway, another thing to look at as far as the Black Moon Lilith in one's natal chart goes, it can show that Aryan life that we don't want unveiled, we want to conceal and keep under wraps and suppress. So these could be clandestine affairs. Well, I understand clandestine affairs, people generally don't want them revealed. They are clandestine, but it could be more intensified with this placement than many others. Now, it could also be secret sorrows that are connected with something very nefarious, something very sinister. It could also be some kind of abuse, perhaps in one's private life, and it's somebody that was involved with them very strongly in their private life. And it could even be a physical abuse and or a sexual abuse of some kind. Now, another thing I wanted to get back at with that thing I was telling you, I want to go back to what puts what could put these people in a very strong state of fright and trepidation, is that I was talking before about being in desolation, being alone, being in isolation. And this could result in some isolated cases, perhaps from some abuse that may have taken place, perhaps in the person's early life, and maybe they were afraid to be alone with a certain person, and maybe now it's almost like it comes out in being just generally fearful of being alone, which is kind of like monophobia. And even could result in claustrophobia in some cases. I'm not saying everybody that has that placement will have one of those things, but the possibility could be a little stronger with this placement than many others. Now, another thing is that the Black Moon Lilith in one's natal chart can represent that strong, uninhibited, erotic sexual expression. Now, given that it's in the 12th house, this could be a person that may entice others with the promise of helping them alleviate things connected with their secret sorrows, with their limitations they have. But what may happen is ultimately, and perhaps on a subconscious or unconscious level, given that this is the 12th house, they may actually contribute to those persons' sorrows and their secret sorrows and the things that are tied in with perhaps their limitations. Now, anyway, last but not least, that the Black Moon Lilith in one's natal chart, this is not all negative if you're able to embrace the higher level of it. Now, given that one thing that a person can do, keep in mind the 12th house is associated with Pisces, and that's illusion. Now, this person might have gone through some negative experience connected with people that were charlatans, people that were imposters, or they weren't really who they said they were, and it could have been strongly to this person's detriment. Now, embracing a higher level, perhaps this can give an ability to perhaps go on a crusade where they unmask the illusionists, the people that are the imposters, that are deceivers, that are frauds, that are charlatans. And this could also be perhaps doing something connected with dream interpretation, something with the metaphysical, doing something connected with spirituality, or even the paranormal is possible, and doing things helping others that are less fortunate than themselves, and reaching out to those people, such as the oppressed, the impoverished, the homeless, and the hungry, and really doing things to help them overcome restrictions and limitations and things associated with self-sacrifice. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the Black Moon Lilith in the 12th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be starting a new series. I'm going to be talking about the zodiac, guessing the zodiac signs. The first video will be a general video as far as ways where you can perhaps ascertain or guess one zodiac sign. And then I'm going to go into, we'll start the series that follows that video. It will be dedicated to each individual sign in terms of trying to guess that zodiac sign. So the one following that will be guessing the zodiac sign Aries and guessing the zodiac sign Taurus, so on and so forth. Well, anyway, two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.